Hello everyone, today we are breaking down the teaser trailer for House of the Dragon Season 2, but before that, remember to like the video, helps out the channel a lot, and subscribe, and yada yada yada, let's get to it. The first thing we see is a disheveled Rhaenyra on a cliff overlooking Storm's End, the ancestral seat of House Baratheon. Her son Lucerys was killed last season by Vhagar, but Aemond was riding the dragon, so he's basically getting credit for the kill. She's looking for her son, holding out hope he is still alive, but it seems from her expression, she has not found any trace of the boy. Otto Hightower has a voiceover during the scene saying errors were made in the hours following King Viserys' death, so Otto is probably talking to the small council or other high lords here, explaining that they made some mistakes. A lot of bad stuff happened during this time. Lucerys dying, Rhaenys escaping King's Landing, and killing a bunch of innocent people. He is trying to show the other lords that the Greens are still the right choice to rule the Seven Kingdoms. In the next shot, we see Aegon II walk into the throne room. He's accompanied by his Kingsguard and two other gentlemen to his sides. I don't see any sigils to tell where they are from. One is wearing green, so he could be a Hightower, which would make sense. He would be Aegon's cousin. The other one, I'm not sure. If you have any ideas, leave it down in the comments below. In the next shot, we see Daemon in full armor, so he is clearly ready for war. Daemon believes the Hightowers have stolen his wife's birthright, and he will do anything to correct this injustice. In the next shot, we see an army encampment. We know that this is Rhaenyra's army, the Blacks, because of the sigil on the flag. We will see the Greens sigil here in a little bit. It's a very mountainous terrain, so it could be near the Vale, but I don't believe any battles happen near there. I've also seen some people say Harrenhal, which does make more sense since some stuff will happen there next season. In the next shot, we see the Hightower army marching. We know this because of the sigils on the flag. Then we see a bunch more soldiers carrying shields with different sigils. The shields with the lamb on it are from House Stokeworth, and the shields with the three red lines are from House Rosby. Both houses are from the Crownlands. This means they don't really have a Lord Paramount. They are directly ruled by the monarch of King's Landing. So they are on the Greens' side, making up some of Aegon's force. As we can see, they are lined up looking like they are ready for battle. This will be the beginning of one of the battles we will see next season. More specifically, Battle at Rook's Rest. In the next shot, we see Alicent speaking with Lars Strong. We know that it is Lars because of the cane. He can't walk well because of his clubbed foot. She looks a little upset. I think she has a handkerchief in her hand. She tells Lars, "The war will be fought, many will die, and the victor will eventually ascend the throne." So she has probably gotten the news that Aemond killed Lucerys, which she knows means there is not going to be a peaceful resolution to this. That people on both sides will die until a victor emerges. Alicent never wanted all-out war, which is why she is upset. Some of the death will be on her. In the next shot, we get our first look at Sir Criston Cole. He has switched up his haircut. He is now the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard after Sir Harold Westerling resigned. They have switched the armor up a little bit. He has a thing around his neck that neither Harold nor him wore last season. Maybe this represents him being Lord Commander. I'm not really sure. He is beheading a gentleman here. Since Criston is doing the beheading, it is most likely a High Lord who refused to swear his fealty to Aegon. We also get our first look at the Green's sigil, a golden dragon instead of a red one. In the books, it has a black background, but here we see it on a green one. So either that is because that's what the soldier is wearing, or they are trying to make it more like the Hightower colors, which would make more sense. In the next shot, we see Aegon on the Iron Throne. Remember, he did not want to be king last season, but now he has fully embraced it. We then see Rhaenyra here, most likely at Dragonstone. I really like her costume here. The dragons being the shoulder pads is a nice touch. She's wearing her crown here, so I'm guessing she is with her war council or some other High Lords she is trying to get to join her war effort. In the next shot, we see a new character named Adam of Hull. A dragon flies above him. Adam will be one of the dragon seeds next season. This basically means that they have Valyrian blood, so a bastard of a Targaryen or Velaryon. I would probably guess Velaryon for some reason. The dragon above him is Sea Smoke, which belonged to Laenor Velaryon until he faked his death last season. So Sea Smoke is riderless. Adam will claim him sometime next season. In the next shot, we see more soldiers marching. We know this is from the Green's point of view since we can see the Rosby sigil on one of the shields. This is going to be the battle at Rook's Rest, which will be one of the more exciting episodes we will see next season. We will get to see some dragon versus dragon battles, which will be awesome. In the next shot, we see Rhaenyra with her war council. We have Daemon on the left and Rhaenys on the right, and Sir Eric in the background, who is part of her Queen's Guard. They are looking over the painted table, coming up with strategies for the coming battles. We get our first look at Corlys Velaryon. He's wearing a blue outfit. Last season, he was severely injured and was bedridden. Many thought he was going to die, but he pulled through. I will be curious to see if those injuries will still be causing him trouble in Season 2. In the next shot, we see Daemon swinging his sword down. I assume he is beheading someone here. We see a weirwood tree in the background. Weirwood trees deal with the old gods, and most of the weirwood trees in the south of Westeros were cut down to suppress them and prop up the Seven, the major religion in Westeros now. So this is most likely somewhere further north, maybe at Harrenhal. In the next scene, we see Aemond walking towards the Iron Throne. The room is empty. He's looking at it quite intensely. It is no secret that he wants to be king. Last season, he basically admitted as much to Sir Criston Cole. He said, "'Tis I, the younger brother who studies history and philosophy. It is I who trains with the sword, who rides the largest dragon in the world." He would have been perfectly fine with not finding Aegon and taking his place as king, but fate would not allow this. But that desire to be king is still there within him. In the next shot, we get our first glimpse of the North. Season 1 mainly took place in King's Landing, so now we get to see how the North looks in this series compared to Game of Thrones. The two guys, one on the left and right, are wearing black cloaks, and the group in front of them on horses are also wearing these black cloaks, so I would assume these are Night's Watch members. The people walking, I assume, are new recruits going to the Wall. In Game of Thrones, most recruits were just thieves and criminals who were sent there. House of the Dragon takes place about 200 years before that, so the Night's Watch is still respectable. Jaehaerys Targaryen, the old king, knew how important they were because of Aegon's dream about the White Walkers. So Jaehaerys did a lot of things to help them out. So we are going to see a much more provisioned Night's Watch to what we saw in Game of Thrones. Jaehaerys is heading north to try and get the Starks on the Blacks' side. So we will get to see Winterfell and we should get to see the Wall. And of course we will get to see the head of House Stark, Cregan Stark. In the next shot, we see Alicent Hightower overlooking a lake. I'm not sure what this could be. Maybe it's a religious thing. We know Alicent is very religious. Maybe this is like a born-again Christian thing. She feels guilty about what is happening and wants to cleanse her soul. In the next shot, we see Rhaenyra and Syrax staring someone down. She does not look happy. Then they hit the wide shot and we see that the person also has a dragon, Sea Smoke. So this is Adam of Hull meeting with Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra doesn't know if she can trust Adam or not, which is why she's giving him this look. I assume this is where Adam pledges his allegiance to the Blacks, or not. We get our first look at Helaena Targaryen looking up at the sky. She is wearing a funeral veil. So someone has died. She looks very sad about it. So it was probably someone close to her. I know who it is, but I will not say because of spoilers. In the next shot, we see a King's Guard riding through battle. This is at Rook's Rest, so the big battle we will see next season. It's hard to say which King's Guard member it is because of the helmet. We then see Dragonfire engulf the battlefield, so there's going to be a lot happening in this episode. We are going to have people fighting on the ground and dragons in the air. But both sides will have dragons. This is really the first time we have seen this kind of battle in this universe. I guess you could count the Battle of Winterfell since the Night King was riding a dragon, but this time we will be able to see everything, so it's already an improvement. In the next shot, we see Rhaenys talking to Rhaenyra. She says, "There is no war so hateful to the gods as a war between kin, and no war so bloody as a war between dragons." So basically, she is telling Rhaenyra that the gods will look at them in judgment, that they will be damned for this, for kinslaying. Remember, she could have killed all the Greens last season when she escaped King's Landing on Meleys, her dragon. She chose not to, because kinslaying is a big no-no for people. People will judge you for doing it, the gods will also as well. And then the dragon part is just true. Wars are already bloody enough. Add dragons to the mix on both sides, thousands will die. So to me, it almost sounds like Rhaenys is trying to talk Rhaenyra out of war. Rhaenys knows the carnage that will happen and the death toll that will occur. But Rhaenyra has already lost a son to the Greens. There is no peace that can be made now. In the next shot, we see Baela Targaryen on top of her dragon moon dancer, which we don't get to see, unfortunately. It will be the first time we will get to see this dragon, I believe, in the series, so that's exciting. She is giving a war cry, like she is angry, but there's also seems to be a hint of sadness to it. So clearly Baela is fighting in one of the battles. It could be at Rook's Rest, though in the books she was not there, but I could see them changing it to include her, because honestly, she really doesn't have that big a role in the books. Like, I barely recall her. So I could see them expanding her role. Something bad must have happened here to somebody on the black side, which is why she gave such a cry. Maybe someone died or was badly injured. We will find out next season. In the next shot, we see some riots happening in King's Landing. We even see Alicent get grabbed by one of the peasants and the King's Guard protecting her. So the peasants know that Aemond killed Lucerys. And as I said before, many look down upon kinslaying. So the small folk will not be too happy with the Greens. Also, Daemon has powerful friends in Fleabottom, Mysaria, for instance. So he could be having her stir up trouble in King's Landing for him. In the next shot, we see a Bracken soldier pull a sword on someone. The Brackens fight for the Greens. We know this is House Bracken from the sigil on his chest. This is most likely at the battle at Rook's Rest as well. In the next shot, we see Helaena with a blade to her throat. The man with the blade is known as Cheese. People who have read the books will know blood and cheese and what this scene is. I will say nothing more about it because of spoilers. In the last shot, we see Vhagar fly above the battlefield at Rook's Rest, which means Aemond is atop it. So we will see the largest dragon at the battle next season, which means there will be a lot of fire and blood. So what do you think of the trailer? Leave it down in the comments below. And if you want more House of the Dragon content, please subscribe and like the video. Check out the Twitter link in the description below. And as always, have an awesome day.